Uddhav Thackeray has lost his seat as Chief Minister, lost the support of a majority of his MLAs and MPs, but he has still held on to his claim of being the real Shiv Sena. That claim will now be put to the test in the ultimate battle between Thackeray and his erstwhile confidant, the current Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Eknath Shinde. The Election Commission has given the Uddhav Sena till 2 p.m. tomorrow to furnish documents and comments. This is in response to Eknath Shinde approaching the Election Commission on the 4th of October, asking that the bow and arrow symbol be handed over to his faction at the earliest. A deadline looms because of a by-election in Mumbai that will take place on the 3rd of November. So the decision has to be made before that. It has also become a battle of existence now for Uddhav Thackeray. Because if he loses the bow and arrow election symbol of the Shiv Sena, can he still claim he's the true political heir of his father's legacy as far as the Shiv Sena is concerned? So the decks have been cleared for the Election Commission to take this decision because of a Supreme Court order on the 27th of September. So what happens next? The Election Commission is the final authority who takes the call on which faction gets the symbol when there is a split. The EC will attempt to determine which faction has enough support in its organizational and legislative wings. It may ask for affidavits from these leaders to figure out exactly where they stand. If there is no clear answer, they can even freeze the symbol. Now, the Shiv Sena has 55 MLAs and 18 MPs. As per Newswire reports, and this is as of 5th October, I'm quoting Newswire reports, the Shinde faction had 40 MLAs and 12 MPs, while the Uddhav faction had 15 MLAs and 6 MPs. With this, the Shinde faction as of now seems quite ahead as far as legislative members go. Does this mean Uddhav Thackeray could lose his claim over the bow and arrow symbol? And what could it mean for his political career? Let me go first across to my colleague Ketan Vaidya, who's explaining to us how the process will work.
EC has there are two scenarios that are discussed, that either the Election Commission can hand over the bow and arrow symbol to the new rebel faction, which will render a new sort of legitimacy to the Shinde faction, or else the symbol will be temporarily frozen and both the groups will be asked to fight the elections, by-elections, or any elections in the future on different symbols till this issue is sorted. Now, why the urgency? The urgency is because on the 14th of October is when the nominations for a by-election in Andheri in Mumbai is supposed to be filed. And without a decision on who is the real Sena or which symbol belongs to whom, that election process cannot be completed.
All right. To speak more on this, I'm joined now by Kishore Tiwari of the Shiv Sena, Vaibhav Purandare, Senior Editor, Times of India, and author, joining us on the show. I'm also speaking now with Anurag Naidu, author. Welcome to all of you, and thank you so much for speaking with us. Kishore Tiwari, it's not looking good, sir, as far as the numbers are concerned. It's not looking good. Why should the Election Commission say that you represent the real Sena?
No, in fact, if you see the Dashera rally, we are the real Sena. The people strength has shown it. Now, the legislative party and the political party is totally different. If you look at the organization is with us. And the BJP has taken away the legislator and MPs. That is the truth. But let us see that we believe in Election Commission, the truth will prevail. If they are politically pressurized by the central government, then decision may differ. But as far as the precedent is there, I think they cannot freeze our symbol, that is Dhanushyaban. And that is the law of the land and the earlier cases also. That is the truth.
But one sec, Kishore ji, I just put out how many MLAs and MPs are with Eknath Shinde. So Dashera rally, they were competing claims. Some are saying wahan 2 lakh gaye, aapke yahan 1 lakh gaye, and we'll show the pictures of the Dashera rallies as well, and all of the crowds there. But does that matter? The majority of MLAs and MPs are with Eknath Shinde today. That's the hard truth, isn't it?
Tamanna ji, they quit the party. They quit the party. They joined the BJP. They formed the government with BJP. Now it is a plan of the BJP that they should claim they are the real party. Real party belongs to Uddhav Thackeray. That is the truth. And if anything beyond that, the time will prove that. We are not worried about the election commission or any judiciary or legislative precedents also say like that only. So you cannot hold us from the people mandate and masses support. I am warning the EC also. They cannot injustice to us. That is the truth.
EC. Okay. Vaibhav Purandare, Anurag Naidu also with us. Tiwari ji is warning the EC. वो warning दे रहे EC को. Anurag Naidu?
No, I think it is very.
What I say that I mean.
नहीं तो तिवारी जी 1 मिनट. I want to clarify. आप चेतावनी दे रहे हैं इलेक्शन कमीशन को. इस शो पर आप कह रहे हैं आप वार्निंग दे रहे हैं, आप चेतावनी दे रहे हैं.
नहीं देखिए तमन्ना जी, मेरी जिंदगी गई है. मैं LLM किया हुआ आदमी हूँ. इलेक्शन कमीशन रहो या ईडी रहो या सीबीआई रहो और जुडिशरी रहो, जिस प्रकार का फंक्शन कर रही है उनसे इंसाफ की उम्मीद कम है. अगर वो कुछ करते हैं तो जनता में जाएंगे, हम जनता में जाएंगे.
अच्छा, तो आपको इंसाफ की उम्मीद ही कम है. अनुराग नायडू, यहाँ पर look at where the technicality lies, and of course we have to see what the official response is, but we have what has been written in the Samna, that's supposed to be the mouthpiece of the Uddhav Sena. So we are assuming that that's what the position is, and the position seems to be.
Madam Tamanna, we are Shiv Sena, and that is Khoke Sena pro BJP. That is Khoke Sena of the BJP. So you should.
Sir, I am no one to decide. I will leave it to the election commission. It is really. They will decide. Anurag Naidu, they are saying that when you quit, you cease to be part of the Sena. So you cannot quit my organization and then say you are the organization.
Yeah. Tamanna, it's the prerogative of the election commission to decide. And as Mr. Tiwari said, I don't know which law of the land clearly states that a symbol should go to A party and not to B party. If the law was so clear, we would not be debating here today, and we would not be, EC would not be hearing the matter. Yes, we know the urgency, and we know why EC is prioritizing this matter because of the by-elections in Andheri. And as Mr. Tiwari himself said, that the parliamentary party and the political party are the two things that needs to be taken into consideration. But the numbers in the parliamentary and the MLA, they clearly show landslide support for Eknath Shinde. And yes, of course, the political party, to some extent, there are conflicting views whether Mr. Thackeray, Uddhav Thackeray's party, Shiv Sena, has strength or Eknath Shinde has a strength. But EC has also said that affidavits has to be submitted. And if you actually personally ask me, except BMC, including except BMC, there is no hold for the Shiv Sena held by Mr. Uddhav Thackeray, which they can claim really to have some kind of majority, which also, in my view, will fade away when there will be elections in the BMC. But except that, including even if we talk about Thane, Dombivali, Kalyan, Dombivali, everything is under control of Mr. Shinde. And I think it looks really, really a tough situation. But of course, it is EC's prerogative. I think nobody should question the authority.
I want to bring in Vaibhav Purandare. Vaibhav, thank you for joining us this late in the evening on a Friday. But you're one of the few people, I think, who have tracked the growth and the journey of this party through and through. I would say even 6 months ago, it would be unimaginable that Balasaheb Thackeray's son, Uddhav Thackeray, would be fighting to prove that main hu. It's kind of like that, isn't it? He's fighting to prove that I am me. I am the son of Balasaheb Thackeray. I am the leader of the Shiv Sena, and this is my party. But it has come down to this. Will it just come down to the numbers?
No, nobody is really questioning Uddhav Thackeray's personal identity. What the Eknath Shinde camp is clearly challenging is his position and claim as the political inheritor of Bal Thackeray's legacy.
Yeah, that is
So,
what I mean, Vaibhav.
correct,
By personal identity, I mean
correct.
he is a public figure in
Yeah,
terms of the political heir of
yeah,
Bala Saheb Thackeray and the leader of the Shiv Sena.
yes.
That is the
So,
identity that he needs to prove today. Does it all depend on that symbol? Isn't he, if he is
yeah,
who he is as a political figure, a powerful political figure,
yeah.
does his success depend on that symbol, or is he bigger than the symbol?
See, everything does not depend on the symbol, but at the same time, a great deal does. Because the voter identifies the bow and arrow symbol with the Shiv Sena and with Bal Thackeray's Shiv Sena. And at least from the 1980s onwards, people have been voting for the Shiv Sena after looking at the bow and arrow symbol. Now, if that symbol is frozen or taken away from Uddhav Thackeray, it will create tremendous confusion in the minds of dedicated Shiv Sena voters about which exactly is the symbol, and they will have to go and first popularize a new symbol, if they get a new symbol, that is, and convince the voters to put their stamp on that symbol. And this is going to be a very tricky business, because if it's the very first election after this whole political crisis, then it's going to be a major challenge for the Uddhav Thackeray faction, no doubt about that. But what the Uddhav Thackeray faction can certainly keep in mind is the fact that for a long time the Shiv Sena did not have a particularly strong symbol. It had the Indian symbol in the 60s and 70s. In the 1980s, especially in the 1984 elections, when it fought the Lok Sabha elections, it fought the 1984 Lok Sabha elections on the BJP symbol, lotus symbol. And later on, it got the bow and arrow symbol, which now it is completely, for the last 3 or 4 decades, it has been identified with. So if the party has strong political leadership, it has strong political will, it has determination, resolve, and it has the following of a powerful section of the population, then the party can still rise even from the position it is in. But the big question is it a party with that kind of leadership or that kind of resolve? And that the answer to that question at the moment, it does not look like the sort of party that has that kind of resolve and determination. So it's going to be an uphill task, especially if the bow and arrow symbol gets frozen, as it might, because like you said in your introduction, October
Yes.
14 is the last date of filing nominations for the crucial Andheri East by-election. And
Right.
the election commission has a certain process that it follows when adjudicating which section should get the symbol. It needs time to look at the documents, the affidavits, and the matter has acquired a particular urgency because of the Andheri election. So it would make sense, in fact, it would make perfect sense for the election commission to freeze the symbol for the moment and allocate temporary symbols to the two factions, so that this election is fought on a temporary symbol.
Yeah, so that there is no rush and a wrong decision is not made. Kishore Tiwari wants to respond. Kishore Tiwari, if the leader is powerful, is strong, does it beyond a point matter? Even if you do lose the symbol, if it's a possibility, I don't know what will happen, but if you do?
Yeah, Tamanna, I used to see you on CNBC, but first time I'm looking at you in mirror now with the political debate. But I respect the opinion of the Vaibhav. Vaibhav was Vaibhav. I should inform you that we have a strong leadership. And Anurag, you were saying Thana and all these things, but whole Marathwada, Vidarbha, Khandesh and West Maharashtra, there is a massive support because Uddhav Thackeray has created his own line.
But no
as a
seats, sir.
chief
But no
minister.
seats, sir. No seats, sir. Sir, I know you are a veteran leader coming from Vidarbha. You should be able to
Let him
tell how many
finish.
seats Shiv Sena
Anurag,
has.
let him
You should be able to
finish,
tell how many
and then
seats
you
Shiv
can
Sena
respond.
has in
Anurag,
Vidarbha.
let him finish. Anurag, let him finish and then you can respond.
अनुराग, हमारी सभी पार्टी, हमारे पार्टी के सब विधायक चोर लिए और सांसद चोर लिए। अब ऐसा बीजेपी करेगी ये तो हमने सोचा नहीं था। हमने उनको डॉज किया, वो हमको डॉज कर रहे, चलो चलता है। लेकिन मैं बताता हूं कि बीजेपी कभी नहीं चाहेंगी कि एकनाथ शिंदे उनको चैलेंज बन जाए। तो एकनाथ शिंदे का तो चैप्टर क्लोज हो गया। हम लड़ रहे बीजेपी के खिलाफ। और मैं आपको बताता हूं, इसी को हमारा कुछ भी करे, हमारा कुछ नहीं हो सकता। इसी वैभव ने बराबर बताया कि एक चुनाव में इसी क्या कर सकता है, सिंबल फ्रीज कर सकता है। अरे हमने सब समझ लिया है, हमारा कुछ बिगड़ नहीं सकता। आपने ईडी, सीबीआई और एनसीबी का दुरुपयोग करके हमारी सरकार गिराई। मैं मोदी शाह जी को बताता हूं, आपको हम अपनी उनकी जगह बताएंगे। अब इसी पे क्या दबाव है मुझे मालूम है।
एक मिनट 2 मिनट बचे हैं शो पर। अनुराग, क्विक रिस्पांस और वैभव का आखिरी पॉइंट। अनुराग, कुछ लोग कहेंगे कि अभी तो एमपी और एमएलए हैं एकनाथ शिंदे के साथ, इसलिए तो पार्टी टूटी थी और इसलिए जो ऑपरेशन लोटस कहे उसको या मनी पावर कहे या जो भी कहे, that is the reason that the Shiv Sena and the government broke in the first place. So it's quite obvious that most of the MPs and MLAs are with Eknath Shinde. It's no rocket science. So the real question then is, what about the organizational leaders?
No, that's exactly why I'm coming. What Mr. Tiwari just meant, that is the real problem of Shiv Sena. The arrogance that hamara kuch nahi ho sakta and no substance in the leadership. That's exactly why 40 MLAs out of more than 52 have dissented. That's exactly why 12 out of 18 MPs have dissented. So that the thing is clear. You don't listen to the MLAs, you don't listen to the senior leaders, and they absolutely feel very claustrophobic in the party, and that's why they leave. So I think you should be more, I think through Mr. Tiwari, I would like to tell the senior leadership of Shiv Sena that you should be more accommodative of the thoughts of the MLAs and the leaders who bring you this vote. These are not the MLAs of yesterday.
I have a question for Vaibhav. I'm seriously over time, but I have a last quick question for Vaibhav. Even if Eknath Shinde, suppose, gets the bow and arrow, does he have an individual identity as a party sans the BJP? The sense is that the entire government, the entire process is being guided by the BJP. Is Eknath Shinde going to be the leader of the Shiv Sena like Uddhav Thackeray? Can he make that space for himself politically without the BJP support?
Actually, he has already made political space for himself by taking 40 Shiv Sena MLAs with him, and 12 MPs of the Lok Sabha of the Shiv Sena have already gone with him. So as far as the legislative and parliamentary wing of that party is concerned, he already has a very strong majority. Now what we have to see is what happens in the organizational wing, because the EC has to decide on the basis of numbers in the legislative wing as well as in the organizational wing. Now, the EC is going to take time to examine the documents as far as the organizational wing is concerned. But Eknath Shinde has already established his political identity as a rival Shiv Sena captain. Now, it's going to be a tussle between Uddhav and Eknath Shinde on who is the real political Eknath Shinde, on who is the real political inheritor of Bal Thackeray's legacy. And let us also not forget that more than half of the Thackeray family was on stage with Eknath Shinde that day. You know, even if we leave out Raj Thackeray, who's got his own party, Jaidev was there, Uddhav's elder brother, Nihar was there, Bindu Madhav's, Uddhav's elder brother's son was there, Smita Thackeray was there. So Champa Singh Thapa has gone over, a very close aide of Badasaheb Thackeray has gone over. It's not just the political leaders and elected representatives who's gone over. Somebody like Thapa, who's not even a politician, and who served Bal Thackeray selflessly in his house, has gone over to the other side. So it's going to be a very tricky battle. So yes, absolutely. But the fact is that he's gone over to the Eknath Shinde faction. So Eknath Shinde has established his position. Now it is for the Uddhav Thackeray faction to try and regain its political clout. How that battle pans out, we'll see. The first test is going to be the Andheri election. After that, the BMC elections.
Yeah. Well, whether they have the symbol or not, and Vaibhav says it's likely that the symbol could be frozen before that important by-election. The EC may not have enough time to make a decision. But it's a huge battle that will be very difficult for Uddhav Thackeray to recover from if he loses. On that note, I want to thank, if he loses, I said Kishore Tiwari ji, agar haarte hai. On that note, I want to thank all of you for joining us. Very short break, but on the other side, we're talking about